September 18, 2015. The EPA sends a single letter to Volkswagen. Within 48 hours, Volkswagen admits they've installed illegal software in 11 million vehicles worldwide. Software specifically designed to cheat emissions tests. Their stock drops 37% in 2 days. The CEO resigns. And the largest automaker in the world begins the most expensive corporate scandal in history. This is how they built an empire on a lie. In 2005, Volkswagen had a problem. They'd just set the most ambitious sales target in automotive history: overtake Toyota to become the world's largest automaker by 2018. But there was one massive obstacle: the American market. Americans loved big trucks and SUVs. Volkswagen made small diesel cars. And American customers had one specific concern about diesel: it was dirty. Diesel engines produce nitrogen oxide, NOx, a toxic pollutant linked to respiratory disease and premature death. California had the strictest emission standards in the world. So Volkswagen's engineers were given a clear brief: build a diesel engine that's powerful, fuel efficient, and meets America's strict emissions standards. There was one problem: it was physically impossible. The technology to make a diesel engine both powerful and clean didn't exist yet, not at a price American consumers would pay. Other automakers had already given up. Honda and Mercedes tried clean diesel in America and pulled out. The engineering solution was called selective catalytic reduction, or SCR. It worked, but it was expensive, added weight, and required customers to regularly refill a separate urea tank. Volkswagen's leadership rejected it. The chairman at the time was Ferdinand Piëch, a man described by his own colleagues as intimidating and dictatorial. He wanted American market share. He didn't want excuses, so the engineers did what they were told. They built a cheat. They programmed the engine control software to detect when the car was being emissions tested. The software recognized the conditions: front wheels turning, rear wheels stationary, steering wheel locked. When those conditions were met, the car would enter a special dyno mode that drastically reduced emissions output. The car would pass the test perfectly. Then, the moment the test ended, it would switch back to normal mode and emit up to 40 times the legal limit of nitrogen oxide. In 2008, Volkswagen launched their Clean Diesel campaign in the United States. The message was simple: you can have power, fuel economy, and clean emissions all in one car. It was a lie, but it worked. Sales exploded. Between 2008 and 2015, Volkswagen sold over 550,000 diesel vehicles in the U.S. alone. By 2015, Volkswagen had finally done it. They overtook Toyota to become the world's largest automaker. But someone was paying attention. In 2013, a small nonprofit called the International Council on Clean Transportation decided to test Volkswagen's claims. They weren't looking for fraud. They just wanted to prove that clean diesel was possible, using Volkswagen as the success story. They hired researchers at West Virginia University to conduct real-world road tests. Not lab tests, actual driving. The results came back impossible. On the road, the Jetta was emitting 15 to 35 times the legal limit. The Passat was even worse, up to 40 times over. At first, they thought it was a mistake. They tested again. Same results. They contacted Volkswagen. Volkswagen said the high emissions were due to technical issues and bad luck. They issued a recall to fix it. The researchers tested the recalled cars. Still failing. That's when they went to the EPA and the California Air Resources Board. The regulators spent a year investigating. Volkswagen kept denying. Then, in July 2015, the EPA told Volkswagen they would not approve their 2016 models for sale in the U.S. until they explained the discrepancy. That was the leverage. On September 3, 2015, during a meeting with California regulators, a Volkswagen executive finally admitted it. There was a defeat device. Illegal software designed specifically to cheat emissions tests. Installed in 11 million vehicles worldwide. 15 days later, the EPA made it public. The market responded instantly. Volkswagen stock fell 37% in 2 days, wiping out $26 billion in market value. CEO Martin Winterkorn resigned within a week, saying he was shocked by the misconduct. But internal emails later revealed he'd been warned about emissions problems as early as 2014. Then the criminal investigations began. Germany, the US, South Korea, Italy, France, the UK all opened cases. Volkswagen started setting aside money for fines and settlements. In 2016, they set aside $18 billion. It wasn't enough. By 2023, the total cost of Dieselgate had reached over $37 billion in fines, settlements, recalls, and legal fees. That makes it the most expensive corporate scandal in history. 9 executives were charged in the United States. One, Oliver Schmidt, head of environmental compliance, was arrested at Miami Airport in 2017 and sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. Martin Winterkorn was indicted on conspiracy and fraud charges, but has never been extradited from Germany. In 2024, he went on trial in Germany for fraud and market manipulation. The trial was suspended due to his health. But the story isn't just about executives who got caught. It's about the culture that made the fraud inevitable. Volkswagen's leadership had built a command and control culture where ambitious targets were handed down, and failure was not an option. Engineers were told to achieve the impossible. When they couldn't, they weren't allowed to say so. So they cheated. And when the cheat worked, it was quietly celebrated. No one at the top asked how they'd pulled off clean diesel when every other automaker had failed. The lesson isn't that Volkswagen was uniquely evil. It's that when you set impossible targets and punish honesty, fraud becomes rational. The engineers who wrote that software weren't rogue criminals. They were people trying to keep their jobs in a system that demanded the impossible. Dieselgate cost Volkswagen $37 billion, but it bought the entire automotive industry a lesson. You can lie to regulators. You can lie to customers. You can even lie to yourself. But eventually, someone will test your car on an actual road. Which company should we investigate next?